The most popular comic book character today is undoubtedly the Flash. In addition to his incredible superpowers and impressive costume, one of the reasons for the Scarlet Speedster's popularity is his formidable opponents. The Flash's rogues gallery is extensive, ranging from evil speedsters to intelligent gorillas and individuals obsessed with mirrors. In this video, we're going to list the 15 greatest enemies the Flash has ever faced. Number 15, Abracadabra. The Abracadabra is a villain who is obsessed with magic. He uses advanced technology from the future to wreak havoc on the lives of the Flash and the inhabitants of Central City. Although calling himself a magician, the Abracadabra did not initially possess any superpowers. However, in more recent versions of the comics, the character has been enhanced and acquired magical abilities. Number 14, Captain Boomerang. Though many find him ridiculous, Captain Boomerang is one of the most original and entertaining villains in the comic book universe. However, Digger Harkness, the man behind the character, is one of Central City's toughest and most dangerous criminals. While possessing no superpowers, Captain Boomerang is extremely skilled with boomerangs, having developed a variety of boomerang types to use in his criminal activities. Furthermore, Captain Boomerang is one of the most frequent villains in the Flash comics, appearing in over 500 issues of DC Comics. Number 13, Captain Cold. Leonard Snart is the leader of the Flash's infamous Rogues, a group of criminals who wreak havoc in Central City. Known as Captain Cold, Snart is exceptionally intelligent, which is perhaps his greatest ability as he doesn't possess any superpowers. However, he always carries his cold gun, capable of freezing any person or metahuman that gets in the way of his plans. Despite his name, this villain's heart is not completely frozen, as he refuses to kill or harm civilians and sometimes risks his life to save innocents. Number 12, Golden Glider. If we're talking about Captain Cold, we can't help but mention his sister, the Golden Skater. Lisa Snart is also part of the Flash's Rogues and is an extremely complex character. Initially, she did not possess any kind of superpowers, but during the New 52, metahuman abilities were granted to her. Now, she is able to fly, astral project, teleport, and much more. On a few occasions, the Golden Glider has taken her brother's place in the Flash's Rogues, demonstrating her dominant personality and above-average intelligence. Number 11, Gorilla Grodd. It's impossible to talk about Flash villains without mentioning Gorilla Grodd. This gorilla hates bananas and is extremely intelligent, probably one of the smartest villains in DC Comics. He is the leader of Gorilla City, a highly technological city located in an isolated forest in Africa. Despite having his own city, he can't resist a visit to Central City to face the Flash. In addition to being super smart and super strong, Grodd is considered the most powerful telepath in the North American comic book company. Number 10, Heat Wave. Are you getting ready there, because things are going to heat up? Mick Rory is a criminal who is completely obsessed with fire. In fact, his passion for the element comes from childhood, and despite getting along relatively well with Captain Cold, he is much more violent. Contrary to what many might think, Heat Wave does have superpowers. He is able to control fire and shoot energy blasts through his chest. Number 9, Mirror Master. Evan McCulloch, known as Mirror Master by his enemies, is one of the Flash's most iconic villains and frequently appears in comics. However, like many other Flash villains, he does not have superpowers, but uses a weapon with various abilities, such as access to the mirror world, a parallel reality. Additionally, his weapon has the ability to turn his opponents into mirrors, which can easily be shattered into pieces. Number 8, Black Flash. If the Black Flash can or cannot be considered a Flash villain is a very controversial subject, because in reality this character is the representation of death for speedsters. Basically, as death wasn't fast enough to catch up to speedsters, the Speed Force decided to create an entity that was capable of doing so, thus putting an end to speedsters' lives as soon as there was that need. However, his ghoulish air and zombie-like appearance are hard to ignore, which is why the Black Flash deserves a place on our list of villains. Number 7, Savitar. During a test flight in a supersonic jet, a pilot was struck by lightning while reaching top speed. After the accident, he discovered that he had acquired super speed. Obsessed with speed, he took the name Savitar, after the Hindu god of motion. Though a relatively new villain to the Flash, Savitar deserves a spot on this list for being both a dangerous speedster and a dedicated scholar of the Speed Force. He discovered new powers that no other speedsters had, such as the ability to almost instantly regenerate his injuries. Furthermore, he proclaimed himself as the only one worthy of using the Speed Force and created a cult around him. Number 6, Weather Wizard. Clyde Martin, aka Weather Wizard, was the first villain to appear on The Flash. Clyde acquired his powers when his plane was hit by the particle accelerator explosion that occurred in Central City. With that, he gained the ability to control the weather, being able to create storms and tornadoes. Clyde used his powers for criminal purposes and ended up facing the Flash on several occasions. Number 5, Turtle. The Turtle is a villain that originated in DC Comics, having appeared for the first time in the 40s as an opponent of the hero Jay Garrick, using his low speed as a tactic. In the comic book version with Barry Allen, his successor used devices to slow down his opponents. In The Flash, Turtle is a metahuman capable of slowing down time. Number 4, Rag Doll. The Rag Doll is a villain that was introduced in the 5th season of the Flash series. Peter Merkel is a metahuman who has the power to contort his body in incredible ways, becoming a very dangerous criminal. His look is very faithful to the comics, being considered scary by fans of the series. With that, the cloth doll became one of the most striking and memorable villains. Number 3, Killer Frost. It's pretty hard to meet a fan of The Flash who isn't completely obsessed with Caitlin Snow's dramatic arc. Originally just a scientist working for Team Flash, Caitlin ended up gaining metahuman gifts of cryokinesis, unleashing a dark and murderous side of her mind, Killer Frost. Number 2, Godspeed. Godspeed is August Hart, partner of Barry Allen. He was struck by lightning that ended up transforming him into Godspeed, an unbeatable vigilante whose life mission was to avenge his brother's death. August gained so much speed force that he became faster than Barry, being so fast to the point of being able to decapitate a person with just one punch. Number 1, Reverse Flash. Ladies and gentlemen, it's time to talk about the Flash's greatest villain. We are obviously referring to Eobard Thawne, aka Reverse Flash. Eobard Thawne was a brilliant scientist of the 25th century, where Barry Allen was known as a true legend. Trying to emulate the hero's deeds, Thawne traveled through time to meet the Flash, but ended up discovering that his destiny was to become the Reverse Flash, the Scarlet Speedster's greatest rival. His hatred for the hero is so intense that he will do anything to destroy the lives of Barry Allen and everyone he loves.